Greetings, fellow slingers. Welcome back to Roll the Hard 20 podcast. It is I, your trusted Dungeon Master Brian, welcoming you once again to another episode of our Dragon's Demand run-through. Episode 21, actually. This episode is legally old enough to buy booze. But aside from that, myself and the other hard slingers, when we were done recording this episode, we started bantering back and forth and kind of coming up with other ideas, other venues that we wanted to present to you fellow slingers. And one of the things that we thought is, well, why don't we put out on our social media accounts what you would like to maybe hear us run as like a one-shot. Maybe something from Dungeon Crawl Classics, maybe from Basic Fantasy RPG or an older edition of D&D or even some kind of a Pathfinder. Anything that you'd like to hear us run that may be a one-shot so we could put a little bit more items in the can. I know it's been kind of sparse lately, and that's mostly because of myself moving, and then last week we had a problem with some technical difficulties with some of our other Hardslingers computers and shit like that. Junior, you suck. Chris, you're supposed to be knowledgeable about this stuff. You couldn't even put your picture on there. You put a picture of your dog. Cute little dog. Anyways, all that. I'm not going to beat this to death. If you want to get in touch with the show, remember, reach out to us at rolledhard20podcast@gmail.com. Hit us on any one of our social media footprints, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Head on over to YouTube because we drop these things all the time at Roll the Hard 20. And there you can leave comments or message me directly. Don't forget, we also have a Patreon page at patreon.com/rollthehard20podcast. For as little as $1 a month, you too can help decide what's going to be ran on this show. Anyways, I'm not going to waste any more time. So the only thing I have left is warm up your dice and top off your glass as Roll the Hard 20 podcast presents episode 21 of our Dragon's Demand run through. More braver, more bolder. See ya, Warren.
Almost made Brian cream his pants right there.
Again, there's not a lot of cream left, but we're still creaming. You'd be surprised how much a clipped man could cream.
I don't even know what to do with that.
He's far away from it, dude. He's like almost 200 miles away from that fire.
Oh, I thought you were talking about something else.
We're talking about his cream.
I'm far away from it. I'm about fucking
it's a long
18 inches,
man.
It's a long way down.
So it's good to see that we managed to get all of our technical difficulties out of the way.
Only took a few days.
A few days. It took like, what was it? Yeah, I guess it did. So,
Hey, but here we are.
yes, we are. We could see your face and hear your audio. Junior, you've made it. Nick, you got the most awesome mic again. And of course, Ryan, you're like me. We just hang out. You know, I was telling Chris earlier because like I had sent the invite and nobody had jumped in. I'm like, what the fuck, man? You know? So I just started playing a game, just wandering. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to check the thread. Maybe it didn't post it. And it didn't because I sent it to your personal thing, Junior.
Oh, okay.
And I was like,
I thought I
oh
heard something
shit,
go off
I sent it to the wrong one. So I sent it. Next thing you know, people are just boom, 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 just popping in. I'm like, oh.
This was first
right.
day.
Because normally, yeah, I'm normally just right on it where you guys
I'm
are.
a general.
Well, are we ready to play some D and Nerdish D?
Fuck yeah.
Let's do
Oh,
it.
yeah.
I call it Dungeons and Dorks.
Dungeons and Dorks.
All right, Dork, let's do this. Greetings, fellow slingers. Welcome back to Roll the Hard 20 podcast. It is I, your trusted Dungeon Master Brian, and with me, the Hard Slingers.
Yeah.
On a Sunday afternoon, no less, because of Wednesday didn't quite make it. We are in episode 21 of the Dragon's Demand run through.
All right.
So-
Our episodes are old enough to drink.
That's
you
right.
Do it. Dang it.
Can't fake that.
I mean,
Sorry, I had to take a swill. Anyway, so quick recap. You guys finally managed to finish off your battle with those kobolds that were in that one room that had the bridge spanning that crevasse, and it looked like they might have just been set up there as some kind of a watch, forward observation base, possibly. Who knows why they were in that room, watching that room. You guys then decided to take a short rest there, and as you guys started coming back around after Sirkin finished taking the room temperature challenge, you guys started smelling this really strong, nasty smell, like a fecal type smell emanating from the hallway where you guys had originally entered in, but it smelled like it was coming from the southern portion, where when you guys originally came in this hallway, I said it was 70 feet long, but at the 35-foot marker was where the entrance to this room was at. Then there was 35 feet more, and then it went to the west. So
are we sure? Are we sure it wasn't?
I'm pretty sure. I'm looking at the map.
No. I'm saying, are we sure it wasn't Sirkin? You know, he nearly died, and I think when you die, like you expel all your fluids.
Kind of do lose a few things. Depends on how tight your ring is around that starfish.
He dropped some ass.
Come on, balloon nut. Let's do this. What we got to do?
It is in that direction we dragged him from, so who knows?
So it's you're not really certain what time it is. Originally, you guys had set out into this place around, I think, noon. But who knows what time it is at this point, because you had gone through, you'd fought some large rats, you had freed a few indentured servitudes. a few
coming from.
That's right, man. A few people that had been enslaved to make these little tokens and totems for a Teparax, and then you, in your effort to continue the exploration of this lair, is what led you to this confrontation a while back. So it's anybody's guess at this point, without seeing the outside, what time it is.
It didn't, and I think you mentioned too that the smell comes in like waves.
Yeah, it's almost like emanating on the vortices of the air as it traverses through the lair itself.
And I don't remember, were we all at like the entrance to that room?
I don't think so. I think you guys
were around the
and
corner,
to the
a little on
right.
the north. Yeah.
We're in to the right of the room.
Yeah, which is actually the southern part of the room. Yeah,
the southern part of the room. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you come in on the west side, and you could either go up to the north or south or across. So the bridge had been chopped down, but you guys had went down to the southern part of the room and just kind of nestled in there.
Okay, and we short rested. Is Sirkin stable at this point? What's his status?
He's stable, and I think what we said last session was he gains a hit point.
Well, he gained a hit point, and then he spent some hit dice, I believe, during his short rest.
I think
what you did?
A lot of us spent hit dice.
Yeah, I think so. Yes.
That's an affirmative, Your Honor.
Yep. Let me roll some hit
I
dice.
don't want to say anything to incriminate him.
Oh, my hit dice were spent last time. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Warlocks.
So talk to me. What would you guys like to do?
Okay, so this scent is coming in waves. Does it seem like the scent of it, or the source of it, is coming closer? Is it getting stronger?
No, it just occasionally you get this ripe, foul smell that just kind of comes along in the air and then just sort of dissipates. It might have been something that might have been there before, but because you guys were in battle, you guys may not have noticed it.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows how long or it's been going, or if it just recently started up.
Okay. Well, at the end of our long rest, Orin will he's kind of like smelling the air, and he's just got this like rank, like expression on his face, and he just kind of like follows his nose like to the entrance, and like very, very carefully like peers down the hall into the other hall, and then we'll very, very carefully like go to the end of that and like kind of just peer around the corner down, see if he can see anything.
Down to the south, right?
Mm-hmm.
Again, you see, as I described before, just this gutted out cavernous hallway that extends down about 35 feet and then turns to the west. You don't see anybody in there. You don't see anything. You don't see the air. So it's not like you're seeing some kind of a noxious gas, taking shape or whatever. But you do occasionally start to smell it again. It becomes a little overwhelming.
Okay. I'll kind of like step back to guys a little bit, and so, well, we've gotten our rest. I think we should maybe press on. I certainly don't want to be in here longer than I have to.
You said long rest.
We took a short rest.
Oh,
I wanted to
sorry.
make sure
That's
that
what I meant.
Okay.
Yeah. No. We took a short rest. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. I thought I had said we're done taking our rest, but anyways.
Okay. I just want to make sure we didn't burn out a long rest.
No, you guys would have been there much longer than what you were there for.
Okay. All right. So I motion over to the rest of the party and say, remember, I can't really see very well in here, so somebody's going to have to
hold your hand.
I'll take point.
Buddy system.
Grab him by the ear.
All
okay.
right.
Well, that makes sense. Why don't you guys go ahead and give me your marching order then?
Warren will go ahead and go first since he can see the best.
Flint will follow after.
I'll take third. I would have taken second, but that's fine. I'll take third.
Right.
And then I'll take last.
Copy that.
Occasionally, Stabby slows down, and Sirkin just kind of like boots him along.
Pushing forward.
So Warren, as you peek out into the hallway, again, you see that it stretches out. You tell me what you want to do. I don't want to drag you through the narrative.
No worries. So Warren's just going to like keep his eyes peeled, and we'll probably move at about half speed, very carefully. If you want, I will make a stealth check. And we're just going to go down to the end of this hall and stop and very carefully peer around the corner if nothing else jumps out at us before then.
Down to the full 35 down?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As you're following the smell, its point of origin seems to be coming from that southern passage, and you keep moving. As I described, at about 35 feet, the passage turns to the west. And then you can see as you peer around that it looks like it goes for about another 60 feet before it starts to angle to the south, like a southwest turn.
Okay.
But at about 20 feet in that passageway, you see that there appears to be some kind of a cutout in the southern wall.
Okay. So just to reiterate, so we've gone down that 35 feet. So I look down and I'm seeing the turn, and the turn is to, if we're going south, the turn would be to the west.
Right. And it looks like the cavern continues to go for about 60 feet or so.
Okay.
And then from what you can see as you're looking down, it angles to the southwest and out of sight. But at 20 feet in that hallway, there appears to be a cutout in the southwest wall. I'm sorry, the south wall.
Is there any sounds or light or movement or anything coming from that cutout?
Why don't you make a perception check from where you are?
Okay. That is an 18.
From what you can tell, you don't hear or see anything down there. Okay. Everything appears to be very quiet, very still. Occasionally, you continue to get the whiff of this nasty smell, but it does seem to get stronger from this portion of the hallway.
Okay. I'll turn around and kind of like update everyone on like what I see as far as the dimensions, and say there is that cutout that's 20 feet up. I'm not sure if there's anything hiding in there yet. I can't see or hear anything.
All right, Flint being right behind him. Warren, would you like me to take a look? And then can I do stone cutting?
Yeah, describe it how you want to use that.
I want to see if it's similar to where we rested at, like the cutout area that we were at before.
Like that one room?
Yeah.
Okay. Like that alcove that was opposite that area? Like how the room was over here and there was a cutout on the other side of the hallway?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, shoot. 1 second.
We're rolling one of these now. It's called a D20.
Yeah, I know. There we go. Oops.
No oops. We don't like oops.
Oops.
Bring it home, babe.
All right. It is 16.
16. And you're standing next to Warren, right?
Correct.
It doesn't look like it has the same kind of depth that the alcove had, but from the edge of the corner, you can't see how deep it does go in.
All right.
You just see that it's a cutout as well, but it doesn't look the same as that one alcove that was where that ambush was at.
Okay. Well, Warden, I don't believe it might be another possible ambush. So, as far as I can tell, I think it'd be safe to continue on.
Okay, let's go ahead and I'll start stepping forward.
Okay. As you get to the 20-foot mark, you can see that cutout is actually another hallway cut out, and it looks like it goes down about 10 feet and then turns to the southeast.
Okay, so it's actually like a whole other branch.
Right. It's like if you had the hallway here, it goes down and it looks like it comes down and goes to the southeast, but you can't tell where it goes from there.
Okay, and
Not
there's
from
no
the hallway
sounds-
you're in.
Okay, and there's no sounds coming from it?
You do hear a little bit of like air howling through there. And when the air starts to howl a little louder, you start to get the whiff of that smell again up in your face.
I'll turn to the others and say, I think whatever that horrid scent is coming from down here. I don't know. It could be the kobolds like trash heap, or could be, dangerous garbage dog.
Dangerous car.
Does it smell like corpse? Like rotting flesh or death?
It smells like decay, like old food. It smells like piss. It smells like shit. Stuff like that. But you really can't tell if there's any type of a decaying body or whatever. It's very pungent. It's like being at the dump, or if you've ever been at the dump on a hot day and you get that smell.
Yeah.
Now imagine you took a shit in the dump on a hot day and you stood over that.
Yeah.
That's what
we're
and then you peed on it too. There you go. That's what you're talking about.
Okay. All right. I'm staying close to Flint, and I'm kind of pushing on him a little bit to nudge us forward.
Hold him like a six pack.
Hugging on my leg.
I'm behind him, kind of pushing him forward a little bit. Like, let's go. We can't stay here.
Okay, so do we want to check this out or continue on?
The hall. I look at Warren. And I say, "Do you mean the hall or this cutout, or go further?"
This branch here that goes down to where whatever this trash scent might be.
Yeah, I'm not feeling good about the trash heap smell. I think we should.
Yeah,
venture
it
further.
might just be where they
Okay.
collect their waste,
Garbage.
their garbage.
They collect your
Trash.
adventurers.
There you go, right?
Well,
Okay.
let's not end up there then.
Yeah, let's go ahead and move on then. So Warren will keep moving on. And you said it'll turn a little bit so that it's like southwest in direction?
Southwest. So at the 20-foot mark, you guys are all looking down this capillary that takes you down a different path. But if you keep going west down the path you were originally going, it goes for another 40 feet before it starts to angle to the southwest and out of sight.
Okay. We'll continue on until probably at about half speed, keeping eyes and ears peeled.
Okay.
And until we get to a corner, or I hear something or I see something. And then we'll just, if we get to that corner, we'll just very, very carefully kind of peer out.
As you're moving down, why don't you guys go ahead and make a perception check for me?
A little
Flint.
better. 18.
Sirkin.
2.
I could hear you crystal clear at that too. Warren.
6. I'm still being distracted by that horrid scent.
Stabi.
3.
So you guys are trucking. Sorry about that.
Aliens have landed.
Right.
It's a wraith.
Warning, warning. Danger, Will Robinson. Danger. So as you get to the halfway point, probably about 40 feet, Flint, you notice that there's some type of an illumination that's coming from that southwestern portion of the hallway where it angles down ahead of you. Like you start to see light, low light, but you manage to see it.
All right. At that point, I'll Warden, look down towards the south. I see some glowing, like an illumination. I'm not sure if it's a creature or something, but there's something coming from that direction.
Okay.
As he points this out to you, Warren, you are able to now see it. You're like, yeah, you know, I do see a little bit of light emanating from that portion of the hallway. You guys all kind of start to see it. Even used to be.
Does it look like it's a natural source of light? Like, does it look like a daylight?
Like it. Yeah, it seemes like daylight of some type, or like a sun type of a light.
I was thinking of like a green glow when you said bioluminescent.
And illuminated.
Oh,
not bioluminescent.
Get
your head out of the algae, for crying out loud.
I was thinking stones, man.
Stones or stoned?
Stones.
The other green. Let's go ahead and very cautiously step forward, and see if we can't get a better eye on whatever this might be.
Okay. As you get to the corner of the hallway, and then you were able to look down, Warren, you could see how it does angle towards the southwest. You see sunlight outside. You see large boulders. It's about a hallway that's probably about 20 feet at the most. And you could see that there's large boulders just outside this, the opening. And you see two kobolds kind of walking by, talking, and then they walk back by as though they're out in front of it, moving back and forth and back and forth.
Are they speaking in common, draconic? Can we make out any words?
In a language that I don't know if you know Draconic.
I do know Draconic.
Very good. You hear them talking about how, you know, Sandy, Sal, and Manny just got waxed. That we don't know who did this, but it's possible they're inside the lair. Big Chief Roguehaz wants us to stay and guard this entrance. You know, they're just kind of mumbling, you know, I don't get paid enough for this. What time's Miller time? What's going on? You know, who wants to be a hero around here?
I turn around to Flint and Stabby and Sirkin, and I just hold up 2 fingers, point in the direction of it, and then make an attack gesture. Right?
Well, quickly, Stabby says, "No, don't attack yet." Warren, Flint, is the ground is it flat?
Perception.
Ground
Ground is flat.
Flat. Is it angled or is it level?
Slope, yeah. Is it leveled?
It's pretty level here.
Okay, and how far are we from the sunlight?
You're about 20 feet, and they're probably at about 25 feet. But they're not just stationary; they're moving. They're intermittently. You see them walking by,
moving
talking.
sentries.
Yeah. You know, about 7 seconds later, you see them come back across. At about 15 seconds later, you see them come across. 4 seconds later, you see them come across. They're not really holden to any routine, other than you know that they keep coming and going. They're as though they're sentries out front.
Can you explain the hall again of where we're at, both forward and behind us?
It's very rocky, very craggy. It looks natural. It's very dark. The floor itself has got a lot of smaller rocks and pebbles. Almost look as though this may have been made through some type of an erosion from long past that eventually dried out. And just like predators and creatures do, they usually take over some kind of a cave, make it their own lair until something bigger comes along and eats them for dinner and takes over their lair.
Okay. I look to Flint and Warren and say, it seems that we have perhaps element of surprise. What do you guys feel about me throwing down some
Throwing down
some hands.
throwing down some ball bearings down at the end of that entrance where the sunlight is? It may prove helpful for us if they lose their balance.
I like the strategy. Would you be able to do that without making too much noise?
I believe so. I believe that I could move up a little bit and do it without alerting them to our presence.
Okay.
Well, it's good to have a plan.
All right. Plan B is plan A, just with more emphasis.
That's right.
More love.
I will, as Stabby moves forward, Brian, I'm going to ready an action. And if one of the kobolds do happen to spot him and like run in, they're getting an Eldritch Blast to the face.
Okay. So there's diplomacy.
So I would like to attempt a stealth to close half the distance of that 25 feet.
Okay.
And
Well,
then-
it's 20 feet, and then outside where they are is 25 feet. So you would actually be outside at 25 feet. The hallway's 20 feet. They're at 25. So
Okay.
I just want to make sure that if you go 25, you'll be outside.
No, I was going to do half the distance. So really what I want to do is get
12 and a
close
half feet.
enough. I want to get close enough to that entrance where I can throw some bearings down without attracting, too much attention.
Okay, so you could go like 15, and then that'll
Yep.
still give you plenty of room. Okay.
Yep, exactly. Okay, so I'll attempt stealth. Come on, baby. All right, 16.
You think that you're not seen.
Okay. And I would like to throw out around 100 ball bearings.
How big are these ball bearings?
We're not fucking around. This is an episode
Where
of
were
Home
these
Alone.
being held, man?
I've got them. I have a bag of bearings.
I got the biggest set of balls you've ever seen.
Steel balls.
So I want to throw them down at the end.
Just
there.
out of curiosity, after you throw these hundy down, how many do you have left?
900.
Holy, so you carried 1,000 ball bearings. So how big are these ball bearings?
Like
Let's just
pea
They're
size, probably.
small. It's only 2 pounds. It's only
Okay.
2 pounds of ball bearings. So
Okay.
they're pretty small.
okay.
I'm not carrying
I
a
will
fucking,
allow it this one time.
it's like I'm carrying an anvil on my back. Yeah,
Kind
so
of
I
like
wanna,
how Flint's been carrying you.
yeah, totally.
So I've been carrying these bearings.
Yeah,
So-
that's right. What's your encumbrance, Flint? Let me put this in there. Add Stubby plus 1,000 ball bearings to your weight.
Okay, so I'm going to toss 100 of them down at the end of that cave entrance.
Okay. So as they're walking, they're going to make a perception check to see if they see these ball bearings or not.
They're going to see my balls in a minute.
At the same time, one of them stops short and the other one actually steps on it. So I'm going to have him make a dex check.
Yeah, he's got to.
And he actually falls to his knees as he steps on these ball bearings. At the same time, they both look towards the cavern. And let's roll some initiative as these guys
Alright.
immediately start moving towards into the cavern.
Let's do it.
Warren,
Okay. Warren is raring to go with a 21.
damn. Flint,
14.
Stabby,
21.
Sirkin.
13.
All right. Stabby, you probably have the highest dex known to man.
I mean, but does he have the highest text known to halfling?
Known to half man. So, Stubby, you've managed to toss these ball bearings out into the trampled on earth out front. You see one of the kobolds stop short. The other one doesn't. His heel gets caught on it, and it takes him to his knees as he plants a hand down in a tripod position. They both look into the hallway. What do you want to do at this moment?
I am going to, the one that is at his knees, I'm going to attempt to shoot him with my short bow.
Okay.
Does he, since he's on his knees, does he have to roll disadvantage?
No, but he's not under. He's just laying. He's just sitting
just
there.
laying down?
Yeah, he's
Is
not.
he-
He's not prone.
Okay.
Okay, that was going to be the.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
not prone.
Okay. I rolled a 23.
That will hit. Today. In
Oh.
all days.
I am also, I'm still stealth though. So I get a advantage, or well, no.
But
I've
you
already-
have to have one of your allies, I think, next to one of the.
No. So the question
Oh,
is, have the kobolds detected him?
Not yet, because it's not their turn.
Okay, if they haven't seen him, then he has advantage on them.
Okay, then.
Or-
Surprise attack.
Yeah, but I think he's
Yeah.
looking for the extra 1d6 on that.
Exactly. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
sneak attack because I've already rolled. I've rolled a 23, so I don't need the stealth.
Yeah,
add.
go ahead and roll the extra d6.
Okay. So I did 8 damage,
Okay.
and then D6 rolled another 5. So 13 points of damage.
You hear this kobold hiss. Warren, you see that the gauntlet has already been thrown down by Stubby doing what he did. He's already engaged the two kobolds out front. What would you like to do?
I mean, I was ready to blast one in the face, so I'm going to just proceed to do so.
Okay.
I'm going to go for the one that is, I'm assuming, still standing.
Yes.
Okay. That is a 20, not a hard 20 to hit.
Damn, you guys are rolling good tonight.
Yeah.
And that is 8 points of force damage and another 2 points of fire damage.
You see him take this force damage and then become singed completely. It looks down the hallway and sees you. I want to see if it sees Stubby. You're no longer hidden, though, are you? Are you still hidden?
No, because since I've attacked.
Okay.
Yeah, I
So-
didn't take cunning action on that.
So then he has 2 targets, 1, 2, 3 for Stubby. For you, Warren, as he
Mhm.
knocks his arrow and lets it loose. That will miss. The other one gets to his feet and fires at you again, Warren.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think 16 is going to hit. Is that going to hit?
16 is my armor class.
Okay. For 6 points of damage as this
Okay.
arrow zooms down the hallway and strikes you. Flint. Now you're still in the hallway before it angles down to the southwest. You've heard all this stuff immediately happen. Boom, 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 within 2-3 seconds of each other. What would you like to do?
Can I make it to where Stubby's at?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna try to get.
Yeah, because he's
Not-
at 15 feet. And
Yeah.
you could only move 25, but with your full movement, you can make the 25 feet to where he's at.
All right, I want to move near Stubby and fire at the one that's kneeling down. I assumed he hasn't gone down.
No,
Gone
he stood up.
up. He stood up. Okay.
Yeah, he didn't move. He just stood up.
All right. Then I'll just fire at that one as well.
Okay.
Is that 1 or 2?
He's been number 1.
He's been number 1. Okay. Go ahead and make a dex save.
16.
16 pass. So I missed my shot, but I'm gonna try to get some cover where I'm at.
Okay. Sirkin,
Yes.
it's good to see you vertical.
I know, right?
What do you want to do?
I'm gonna join the rest of the party about where Flint was, where Flint just ran up.
Okay.
And, take out my longbow and try to attack the kobold that just stood up.
Alrighty.
So number 1.
Yes. Let's see. That is a hard 20.
Oh,
Fuck
the
yeah.
hard 20.
Woo.
Yeah. Look at this guy. New mic, new dice, new life.
Yeah, man. Let's see.
What's your max damage there?
Max damage would be 10 points of piercing damage.
All right. Back it up.
Let's see. That does not back up. 2.
Okay. Well, with this arrow, you pierce this kobold. Arrow goes through so fast, almost decapitates it as you see this creature just fall at the feet of his buddy there. The other guy looks down and says, Starsky, no!
God.
Starsky Hutch.
The other one, Hutch.
Stabby. You watch Sirkin take out a kill, your kill, finish it off, steal your kill. What would you like to do? I
Are
can't
you
hear you.
muted?
Are you muted or are you talking to yourself?
Question.
You praying?
Yeah. So sneak attack is does the other target have to be living?
Yes.
Okay. So sneak attack is out. All right. So I'm gonna with my short bow, I'm gonna attack the other kobold,
Okay.
and I'm gonna roll a 21.
Oh, God, you guys are doing excellent. Excellent.
Okay. And I hit him for 4 points of piercing damage.
All right. You see, like, looks like his shit's pretty rocked at this point, but he's still standing, still vertical. Warren, what would you like to do?
I mean, he's vertical. We can't have that.
Let's get him horizontal.
I
Give him a
mean,
pillow.
second verse, same as the first. That's 24 to hit.
Oh, shit.
Jeez.
Oh my god. Freaking 12 points of force damage and another 2 points of fire. So
So with this force damage, you actually blast him into the large boulders behind him. And the damage is followed almost immediately by this fire blast as well. And you just see his corpse just slump down and smolder. For a moment, you don't hear anything. Everything becomes silent.
we'll look around carefully. Go to the I'll step over to the entrance of the entrance of the cave and just take a look around, see if maybe can get some bearings where we are versus the town.
Okay. As you look outside,
Mhm.
you see to the left, which is to the south,
Mhm.
a large rock overhang. You see 3 dead kobolds underneath it. To the right, you see a passageway that leads to the north, and you recognize this passageway as the way that you guys had went
Oh, okay.
when you originally came into the lair. This is most likely the first entrance that you guys had bypassed.
Okay.
So we looped around.
Jess.
Stebby would like to inspect the bodies and look for any items that may be of interest for us to take.
Okay. As you're going through, you find a picture of this kobold's family, his wife and newborn child.
Stebby laughs.
They have nothing of intrinsic value on them whatsoever.
No coin.
No coin. Just a Xerox letterhead that says "Thank you, love Ateparax." You know, keep up the good work.
So Stebby
Some kind of mass mailing.
The corporate email.
Yeah, the corporate letterhead from the office of Ateparax.
So Stebby throws the picture of the family down on the ground, and then he proceeds to urinate on it. He does not like kobolds.
Oh, it's going dark.
Jeez. Guess got to have that running around with you, huh?
Yep.
All right. So once he's done doing his thing, you guys see that there's nothing else left. There's nothing else of value on these kobolds.
Okay. Warren will turn around and look at the others and say, well, I guess you get to go deal with that trash heap or whatever it is.
Sirkin, what are you thinking?
I think at this point, probably just go back into the cave. I mean, we must have missed something.
Mhm.
So maybe go back to that trash chute.
Yeah.
It was just a passageway. It really wasn't a chute. It was just like a cavern that kept going to the southeast.
But that's the only one that we have been by that we haven't explored, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
And is the light compared to further down that passage where that kind of cutout is what's my vision like there? Can I see very well?
It's very, very dim. The only reason why you were able to see at this part of the hallway was because the outside sunlight creeping in. That was what you were able to use. And then, it's like walking out of a dark room into the sunlight after, and you probably see the faint glow of the light before you get outside. And then once you get outside, you're like, wow, it's really bright out here. When it may not really be, it's just brighter than where you came from. And even going back into the hallway, into the cavern, it looks extremely dark compared to your eyes having been adjusted to it for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
Stebby motions to Warren and says, "We, as much as I hate to say this, I believe we still need to discover the source of the foul air. But we should proceed with caution. I do not trust these halls of the kobolds, that especially hearing what they said that they have been instructed to wait for others making entrance.
Mm-hmm.
We should cautiously proceed, make sure that we don't have any other surprises."
Agreed. Let's look to the others and say, let's go ahead and go back in.
Okay.
Yep. See,
Warren like pulls the arrow out of his shoulder.
I'll follow directly behind Warren.
Okay, so let me is that your new marching order?
Yeah,
Warren, Stabby, Flint, Sirkin, or
I
that's
just
fine.
moved up in the ranking. That's all.
Sure, yeah.
Oh, very good.
someone
Hello.
giving themselves a promotion.
That's right. I moved myself to number 2 pincushion. So as you guys tell me what you want to do. Tell me how you go about doing your thing. Like I said, I don't want to take the reins from you guys. I don't want to
No.
assume anything.
I mean, if everyone's okay with it, Warren will go ahead and lead the way back to the other passageway that we didn't explore.
Okay.
Probably with maybe a little bit less caution until we get to that point. A little bit more speed, and then when we get there, we'll stop before actually going down it. Take another listen, see if there's anything else, and then if the only thing we can really detect is that horrid smell, then we'll turn and start heading down that way.
Okay. As you get back to that one portion of the hallway, you look down the south and you see it goes down about 10 feet, and then it takes a turn to the east. From where you are in this main hallway, you can't see to the east.
Okay. We'll go ahead and step down to that turn and carefully look around that corner.
Okay. You see that the hallway still between 7 to 12 feet wide, goes narrow, gets a little wide, goes narrow, gets a little wide. At about 25 feet of this hallway, you see that there appears to be a small 10-foot square alcove in this south wall. But it continues to go on beyond that.
And I'm sorry, the alcove is how far down?
It's at 25 feet.
Okay.
This particular hallway itself is probably about 40 feet, but at 25 feet, you see there's an alcove in the south wall.
Now, is the source of the smell getting stronger?
It is, actually.
Okay.
Great. I hope you didn't eat anything recently, guys.
Well, in this
Aside
place, I
from-
don't think you'll
aside-
smell it.
Aside from Sirkin eating some dirt. Hurt your face, Sirkin. So Warren will carefully move in the direction of that alcove to where he can get a good view in it and see if there's anything hiding there.
Okay. As you get closer, we'll say you're probably about maybe 15 feet into the hallway. So you got about 10 feet away from the alcove. You see that the floor in the main hallway is smooth dirt, but in the alcove itself are just these mounds of debris of limestone and other boulders that have been kind of piled at about maybe 3.5 feet high. They look like they slope up to the middle and then slope back down. So it's like 1/2 foot, 2 feet, 3 feet, and 3 feet, 2 feet, 1/2 foot, but it's all piled in this alcove. And then it looks like it keeps going further down the hallway, which is where this smell is getting stronger and stronger from.
Now, the limestone, is that what they were originally mining in this quarry?
A long time ago, yeah.
A long time ago. Okay,
so quarry, yeah.
We
that was where
believe that's...
Belhaim got the majority of their prosperity from. But this was like back in Warren's time, like a couple hundred years ago, before the flood had sealed it up and nobody was able to get back to the limestone.
Okay.
They just never drained it.
All right, I just want to make sure it's...
Good call, though. Way to go, Junior. Way to go, Flint. Stone cunning.
Right. And then just making sure that like there doesn't appear to be anything like hiding behind any of those mounds or anything. Warren will just like stop and keep like a real like close ear out for a moment before.
Tell me where you are tell me where you guys are. Sorry. You know what to expect.
Warren would probably step up just a few more feet to get maybe a better look in there. So Warren can see completely through like any shadows or dim light or anything that's in there. He sees normal.
What a boss.
He is. We won't talk about like, what he had to like give up to his patron for it. But anyways,
someday we're going to actually have to delve into that. We're going to go into that deep.
Oh, I figure that was, like the reason why you got that, like 3 pages or whatever. Anyways, Warren can
Hope we ever get out of this damn area.
Right? No. So Warren would just step up. So he's maybe like 5 feet. He's probably on like the far wall from the alcove, like maybe 5 feet from actually being like right in the space of the alcove. And just like trying to keep everything else as like quiet and still as possible, just so that he can.
That's not going to work.
Yeah. As you step across from the alcove to look at it, you feel the ground beneath you give way as 10 square feet of this hallway swings down. And I need for you to make a dex save as you fall down.
Oh, shit.
Should've let the rogue go and check it out.
Except for the rogue can't see shit. That is a 21 on a dex save.
21. You hit the ground, rolling slightly wounded, and you'll take half this damage. You'll take 4 points of damage. And the other 3 of you watch as these boulders begin to slowly roll into the pit while he's down there. And I need for you to make another reflex save to get out of the way of the boulders as they come down.
Oh, shit. I'm sorry. How much damage was that, by the way?
4.
4. Okay. And that was after the half?
That was after the half.
Okay. Not as good. That's a 13.
Oh, I am sorry, Warren. For 9 points of damage. As
and
these
Warren
boulders
falls.
come down, you see this dust come out of this 20-foot deep pit. Stubby, you look in awe, your mouth hanging agape. Flint, you and Sirkin both see Warren just one moment he's standing there, next minute the floor gives way, the boulders fall in on him, and you hear this. Ah! What would you like to do?
I move up to the I can't really see anything. So I'm going to move up close to the edge of where I believe the floor collapsed.
I'm just going to run after him and kind of make sure he doesn't fall in.
Make a perception check while you're there, Stubby. You could either do that or you could make an investigation check, either one. or an intelligence check, either way. Just tell me which one you want to do, though.
I'll do a perception check. Rolled a 9.
9. You see that the floor looks as though it was hinged, but you can't tell in what manner it was. It's just too dark for you.
Okay. I call out to Warren to see if I can hear him respond. Warren, are you okay?
Just the tight nothing.
So I looked to Flint and I said I'm concerned that we've lost Warren.
Hey, he'll be all right.
He'll be all right. He'll be fine.
He'll be fine.
It's nothing
how
but a
far
scratch.
down is the drop?
20 feet.
20 feet. Can I make out where he's at? I mean, let's dark vision lets me.
Yeah, you could see he's partially buried under some of the boulders that had fallen. He's not completely entombed, but it doesn't look like he's moving on his own accord.
Okay.
It looks like he's stuck under there. So
I'll tell Stibby and Sirkin, hey, I think he might be pinned down by some boulders. We got to get down there. Does anyone have a rope?
Stebby rummages through his inventory and does have a 50-foot hemp rope.
hemp.
And I hand it to Flint. I hand the rope to Flint because I obviously can't see well enough.
Okay. From there, Flint makes an investigation to see the best place he could possibly tie this. Is there anything that I could
around his neck?
Woo! And we're going down. Is there a safe place where I could anchor this?
There's other larger boulders in that alcove that didn't go down into the pit. You could probably do that, or your two buddies can hold on to one end of the rope.
Well, I think
but they would have to make a strength check.
Yeah. I'll anchor it on whatever I feel that can support all our weight.
Okay.
And then Flint wants to slide down the rope and attend to Warden.
Okay, so you go down the rope. Sirkin, what would you like to do as you watch Flint descend down?
As Flint goes down, I'm going to ask him real quick. Do you need help down there, or do you want to stay up here at the moment?
If you guys feel safer up there, stay up there. I'll see what I can do. I'll assess the situation.
All right. So Sirkin will stay at the top at the moment.
Warren, as you lay partially buried under some of these rubble, as you prepare to make a death save, tell me what memory goes through your mind of your life as you're about to make this death save.
Warren is actually having a flashback to a training under his old master, mostly about how to perceive and analyze what was referred to as static magic, or magic that is frequently used for enchantments and traps and things like that. And was basically teaching him the fundamentals of how to understand and read magic, the fundamentals of a detect magic spell.
Awesome. Make your death save.
That is a 17. So 17. We've got one success.
Stubby, you see Flint descend down into the pit. Sirkin watching over everybody. What do you want to do?
How deep is this pit?
Still 20 feet.
20 feet. Okay. I yell down to Flint.
Fuck you!
Yell down
the rope.
Yell down to Flint. Hey, can you get this rope wrapped around Warren for us to hoist him out?
I have to see if he can get out. I have to see if he can get out of the boulders first.
Can you move the boulders on your own?
I'm sure gonna try.
Okay. So Stebby is going to hold and relay the information to Sirkin that Warren is covered in boulders where Flint is trying to remove the boulders so we can tie a rope and
And they're not large boulders. They're just, but they're
Pebble?
dense. Yeah, no, they're not pebbles, but they're, I mean, if you got hit by a boulder, say 8-10 inches in diameter, it would fuck your shit up. And that's kind of like what he's under. So it doesn't require any strength really to move them. It's an effort of a full round action for you to get and clear him out.
I thought it was gonna be like a smaller Indiana Jones boulder.
Oh God, thank God.
Yeah.
What? Oh, like the big.
Yeah, but like smaller size, you know.
No, well, I was gonna say, in everyone's defense, if
It's
you're
a
riding the ride at
halfling-sized Indiana
Disneyland,
Jones.
half the time that ride breaks down anyway, so you don't have to worry about that boulder.
so I yell down, Flint, we have to post haste. We must get him out quickly.
Copy that.
Okay, so you roll the boulders off of him.
Yeah, I'll remove the rubble and I'll check on him,
Okay,
see how's he doing, and
you see he's a third of the way of almost being alive, as he's made one good death save.
all right, that will be just fine. And I've cleared the boulders and everything. I could actually like bring him out.
Yeah, you could tie him up and they could
Okay.
hoist him up. You're not going to be able to hoist him up. They're going to have to pull him up. So
Well, that's fine.
okay,
But before I do that, I actually want to cast Spare the Dying on him so he doesn't have to make his death saving throws.
okay,
And also, I'm going to use, since we took a short rest, I'm actually going to use some of my pool points for my Channel Divinity and grant him, let me see, get a dice out here for him. It's going to be
Oh, Kobold, I told you.
Kobolds are
quickly.
back.
roll for initiative.
He's going to get 4 points of healing.
Okay. Warren, your eyes flutter open. You see this grisly dwarf looking over you.
Oh God,
Put-
get
put
away
s-
from me, you
Putting
horrible!
saliva on your
I
lips
just
as he brings
saved
you
you.
back alive,
We had to do mouth to mouth. It's nothing personal.
It's
It
the
was
only
only to save your
way.
life. It was the only way.
Even though it's administered through a needle. It's like, we got to do mouth to mouth. Meanwhile, you're slowly being hoisted up by Sirkin and Stubby.
Okay. Well, I mean, once I'm conscious, I'll like try to help as much as I can. Like, I don't know. Like when I get close to the edge, I'll like kind of like reach up, like kind of weakly hang on and like drag myself up as well.
You pull yourself up to the lip of the floor. You see your two comrades up there. Flint, you're still down in the pit right now.
While I'm down in the pit, is there anything else on the pit? In the pit area? It's like
Just bones. You see bones down there. Old armor that doesn't look to have any value whatsoever. Broken, rusted sword. It looks like that you guys weren't the first people to fall victim to this trap.
okay. If there's nothing to notice in this pit, then I'll just wait for them to bring a board in and drop the rope again.
Okay. A few moments later, same thing. They bring you up. What side of the hole are you guys on?
Well, if we
Well-
can get to the other side, that would.
It doesn't appear to be a problem getting there. It looks like all you have to do is go through the cutout of the alcove and circumvent the hole in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would imagine we're still on the entrance of that room just because the trap dropped down and
Yeah,
kinda
that
set up our
hole
thing
is
there.
10 feet away from the entrance to that room.
Okay. In that case, like once we get up and get together, get ourselves together, and like Warren kind of like take stock, and it's like, thank you, Flint. Your powers are much appreciated.
Thank you
We-
for this.
You said you wouldn't tell. It's doctor patient
Confidentiality.
Let's perhaps someone else should stand in front.
Just let me know.
All right. Well, as soon as Flint gets up in there, you'll tell Warren.
Yeah, that's right. Flint's going to get up in there. Okay, so you got to take the lead, Flint.
Yeah.
And I'll stay behind with him. Second
whom?
second order.
Second?
Yep.
Sirkin, you going to be third or
I'll pick up
last?
the rear. Be last.
All right. Warren's in front of you.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You see that the hallway continues on for another 10 feet, and you could just tell that this pungent smell coming from this room to the east is really, really strong at this point. It's almost physical, and it makes your stomach kind of, oh god damn, what the hell is that? As the tunnel opens onto this oddly shaped room, you see this cave's 40 feet long and 25 feet at its widest area. And you could also see that it kind of curves like a half moon up to the northeast. In the northern wall, you see that there's another alcove. In the south wall, you see that there's a cavern. In the southwest wall, you see that there's another cavern that looks as though there's a wooden door that's iron banded and blocking that passage. And in the middle of this room, you see a large pile of all kinds of stuff, old food, excrement, trash, just everything, just heaped in the middle of this room. And at the very top of this heap, you see what appears to be some kind of a leather backpack.
And kobolds.
another kobold.
And more kobolds. And that's where we're going to stop this session.
Okay.
Okay.
Now I've got a whole week to think about what is in that friggin' leather backpack.
Yes,
You know the rogue is the one who's like,
Dude, I'm like,
How can I get up there?
yeah.
Thank you for joining us once again on Roll the Hard 20 podcast. Remember, you can find us and subscribe to us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, and iHeart Radio. And if you like what you're hearing, please leave us that 5-star review. You could also contact the show directly at rollthehard20podcast@gmail.com or head on over to the website at rollthehard20podcast.com. And be sure to check out the galleries. We got a lot of really interesting stuff posted there. And finally, join us on our Patreon page at patreon.com/rollthehard20podcast. There are ways for you to help out the show and pick up swag. So until next session, keep your dice warm and your glass full as you roll those hard 20s.